Hey friends, and welcome back to the Acres. Super excited to show you guys what we're doing today. I don't know how excited I am, but we are getting ready for another snowstorm. So today I am going to be doing a couple of chores, things around the camper to get ready for snow. There are a couple of things that we already have in place, like the skirting behind me. I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. But there are some things that we do just on the regular anytime snow or really cold weather is in our future. So I'm going to take you around and show you that. And we're going to start outside because that's where I am at the moment. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys is something that we set up, I guess probably about a week ago. And we added to it about a week ago. And I am sorry if my voice sounds funny. I am walking on ice. And yeah. This here is our water intake. So as you can see, we have a heated hose that helps us with our water. And then we have this cover on the back and it looks like it is leaking. So I need to take that apart. And then part of the heated hose is there as well. And it keeps that faucet warm so that when the water comes in, it's not frozen. We do unplug this we do unplug this if the temperature is going to be in the teens, because we don't want our pipes to freeze. But let me look at this and then I'll show you guys what else we have going on. While I have this off, I'll show you guys what we have. And I will link all of this stuff below for you if you are looking for a way to keep your water system going. So we have a thermal bag, okay? And then this is heated and it's attached to the heated hose. It was just an extra part. So we just keep this up here. And then with the bag cinched around it, it keeps this part warm so that when it goes into the camper, it stays warm. The next thing we have is how we keep our hydrant from freezing. So the hydrant is wrapped in pipe, in the insulation for pipes. So it is wrapped all the way down in that. Underneath that insulation is what they call heat rope. So that goes all the way down to the bottom and then comes back up. We do have some extra, so we wrap the extra around up here at the faucet. And then we had some extra on this end from the heated hose that wraps around here. So this heat rope is plugged in to our power panel. And then the heat rope for the hose is actually plugged in to site number 2's power panel, just so we kind of have an even distribution of the electricity. So this is how this, and then this black bag goes over. This is an insulated bag. It goes over this whole system here. It doesn't go all the way to the ground because this hydrant is pretty high. But it keeps all of this insulated and warm. And like I said, we do turn this off if the temperature is going to be in the teens. So this is how we are keeping our water running to our camper. And I'm going to take you inside. Oh, something else that we are doing that I just started doing because we had a problem is for our septic tanks and such, I have the gray tank is open so that water can just continuously run. And then our black tank is shut. And then what I do is I make an effort to, if we're going to have a warm day, anywhere that's in the upper 40s, I will come and I will drop the black, no matter if it's full or not. And I'll show you guys in another video how we drop the tanks to make sure that they're clean. But then that way, this tank runs, has like a constant flow to it. And we always try to use extra water so that nothing freezes in that pipe. Here is what it looks like with the bag over top of it. So you guys can see how that looks. All right, I'm going to go inside. Show you some things we have going on inside. Let's talk about a couple of things that we have done in our main living space. This is our main living space to help us stay warm and keep the camper insulated. One of the things that we have not done yet that we really want to do is we have 2 really big windows. I have this one closed off just to keep the draft. But what we would love to do is put plexiglass on these windows to make them a double pane window. That will help keep down the condensation and to keep us a little bit warmer. It is an investment to do it, and it's just something we haven't gotten to yet, but that is on the list. And then talking about condensation, We do have these damp rid, they're either bags or canisters in every room of the camper just to keep the moisture down. We do find that it helps. We also find that this camper is really dry most of the time. So there is water in there, but that one's also been there, I think, for almost 6 weeks now. So definitely dry, but we still have them to keep the moisture down. The floor is also another place where we feel like we lose a lot of heat. So we have rugs down, and we would love to add more rugs, or we have even talked about if it gets too cold and we can't manage, we'll just carpet the whole thing. We'll go to Lowe's and pick up some carpeting to carpet the whole thing. Right now we do okay with it. So we're kind of just staying where we are. This is the first cold snap. It's lasted about a week, that we've gone through. So we'll see where it goes. We also supplement our heat in the camper. We do have propane heat. We have 2 propane tanks on the front, but we do supplement our heat with radiator heaters. We have one here, and then I also have one in the kids' room. And we keep these cranked, not high, but in the middle, and they heat pretty well. In the bathroom, we do keep 2 water jugs in here filled with water. This is just kind of like an extra reserve of water if something happens, and we have water right here if we need it. And then our vent, we have insulated this with foam. So we have foam on the vent, and then we just have tape up there. We could put some, like, this is just like Armax foam. We could make it thicker, but this works fine with us. That Tyvek tape really keeps it sealed. So that's, bathroom, pretty simple what we do to keep it insulated and warm. So this is the very messy kids' room. Yes, we have been home for 3 weeks. One of the main things I have to tackle in here are these windows. So let me turn this light on. So we do have thermal curtains on these windows. They did get warm one summer and they stuck to the window. But they still do work and they keep out the draft. They are a little bit short. These are from our other camper. But if you keep them long, they will definitely keep the draft out. I can tell right now there is definitely more moisture back here than there is in the front. So come summer, I'm going to have to probably clean these out and replace some things. But what I'm going to work on is I'm going to pull off the bubble wrap that I put on last year because they have destroyed it. And I'm going to put on new bubble wrap. This is to kind of make it a double pane window. And hopefully it will help keep the heat in and then cut down on that condensation. So all I do is this is taped on with clear packing tape. So I'm going to take this all down and then I'm going to put new stuff up. Before I move on to do Hunter's window up there, I just want to point out we do have a full house size dehumidifier that we do run. And this actually is a good heat source for us as well. So sometimes we will run both this and the heater, especially back here because it seems to get more wet. We were also finding that we were getting a lot of moisture underneath Marisol's bed when her bed ran this way. So I did turn it so it runs this way out, giving more circulation and for back there. And we have found that it's not as wet back there. So we are monitoring the water, the moisture, and some of these things are the things we're doing to cut down on them. So I'm going to move on to Hunter's window, and then I will give you guys a couple more tips on how to stay cozy and warm in a camper during winter. One of the most common ways that people will tell you to insulate your camper and to get it ready for winter is to do underskirting and underpinning, which is definitely something we knew we wanted to do and has actually been on the list for over a year now. When we first thought of this plan, we wanted to underskirt with plywood. So we got all of that supplies actually, I think, last year. but Jamie never got it done before winter came, and then he was here by himself, so it was really hard for him to do it by himself. So this year when we tried to start early, which we did, and we got a good start on our underskirting, but instead of using plywood, we decided to go with foam. And to tape, we did 1.5 inch foam, and or actually, I think it's 1 inch foam, and we tape it with tie-back tape together. At the bottom, he did make a base for it, so it sits on a 2x4, and then it sits up, and then underneath our camper. We are just about done with our skirting. We've had some big things going on these days with vacations and holidays and selling our house in Maryland and getting all of our stuff moved. So that has kind of taken the back seat, but we are excited to get back into skirting our camper. I do have some footage of Jamie doing that, so I'm gonna drop that in right here for you so that you can see it. But that is, like everyone says, the #1 way to make sure your camper is ready for winter. For us, it really cuts down on the wind. We have really bad wind here, and doing that makes it so that the wind is not blowing underneath the camper and just making it colder. And we're not losing heat that way either. So, like I said, I'll drop some footage in here of Jamie doing the skirting on our camper. I am going to cozy up on the couch with a cup of hot tea, and I'm going to find a movie to watch. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and we will talk soon.